The spring sunlight filtering through stained glass casts a kaleidoscope of colors across my hands as I push open the heavy oak door of my childhood home. Mom's birthday has always meant Sunday brunch after church, a tradition I've missed the past 3 weeks due to work deadlines. The scent of coffee and vanilla wafts from the kitchen, mingling with the perfume of fresh lilacs from the garden. "Hello?" My voice echoes through the marble foyer. No answer, but laughter spills from the sunroom at the back of the house. The sound of my sister Madeline's giggle, bright and musical as ever, drifts down the hallway. She must have brought little Emma for a visit. My heels click against the hardwood floors as I follow the voices. More laughter, then my mother's conspiratorial whisper. "You deserve a real family, Daniel." I freeze, one hand on the doorframe of the sunroom. Through the glass French doors, afternoon light streams onto a scene from someone else's life. My husband Daniel sits on the floral sofa, my sister's toddler Emma perched on his knee. His hand rests on Madeline's lower back as she leans close, adjusting Emma's pink hair bow. My parents beam at them from their matching armchairs, looking more proud than they ever have at any of my accomplishments. "Laura was always a disappointment." My father's words slice through the air. "A barren woman is no wife at all." The oxygen vanishes from my lungs. Daniel sighs, bouncing Emma gently. "I've tried to be patient, but I want children of my own." Madeline's fingers trail down his arm. "You'd make such a wonderful father." I watch, paralyzed, as my sister presses her lips to my husband's cheek. Her lipstick leaves a coral pink smudge near the corner of his mouth. My gaze drifts to the mantel, where a silver-framed photo catches the light. Daniel, Madeline, and Emma posed together at last month's Easter service. They look like a perfect family. The door handle turns to ice under my palm. With a strength I didn't know I possessed, I shove it open. The heavy glass pane crashes against the wall. Four heads snap toward me, faces draining of color like a photograph bleaching in the sun. Emma bursts into tears at the sudden noise. My mother recovers first, smoothing her pearl-buttoned cardigan. "Laura, dear, we were just discussing options." "This isn't what it looks like." Daniel stands, nearly dropping Emma in his haste. Madeline snatches her daughter, pressing the crying child against her shoulder. A smile plays at the corners of my sister's mouth as she soothes Emma. My eyes drift to the wall of family photos. Madeline's high school graduation, Madeline's college graduation, Madeline's wedding. The few photos of me are either group shots or tucked into smaller frames near the bottom. My father steps in front of Madeline and Emma, shielding them as if I might suddenly turn violent. I notice how my mother reaches for Daniel's arm rather than moving to comfort her eldest daughter. The memory surfaces unbidden. My 16th birthday, opening the plain white envelope containing a savings bond while Madeline unwrapped a pearl necklace. "Be practical," they'd said. "You need to think about your future." My hands should be shaking. My voice should be breaking. Instead, an eerie calm settles over me like morning frost. How long has this been going on? The grandfather clock ticks 7 times before Daniel answers. "We've been talking about options for weeks now. We're just trying to be practical about the family line." My mother's fingers worry at her pearls, the ones that match Madeline's exactly. "My family line?" The words taste like copper on my tongue. "Or just yours?" I cross to the mantel, lifting the silver frame. Daniel, Madeline, and Emma smile up at me, coordinated in pastels and promise. "You've already replaced me. Congratulations." The frame slips from my fingers. The crack of shattering glass punctuates the silence. My father lunges forward. "That was an antique frame?" "Of course. The frame matters more than my shattered life." I turn to Daniel, this stranger wearing my husband's face. Was any of it real, or was I just a placeholder until something better came along? His hesitation answers more clearly than words ever could. The weight of my wedding ring seems to double, then triple. I slide it off, placing it on the side table next to a fresh bouquet of lilacs, Madeline's favorite flowers. "I hope you'll all be very happy together." I walk out with my spine straight and my head high, ignoring their calls behind me. In the driveway, I sink into the driver's seat of my car, gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles match the pearl white of my mother's cardigan. My reflection stares back from the rearview mirror, a woman I barely recognize asking a question I never thought I'd face. Who am I without them? Tears will come later. For now, there's only the sound of tires on asphalt as I drive away from the perfect family portrait, leaving an empty frame where I used to stand. Later that evening, when I came home, wedding photos stare down at me from every wall, each perfect smile now a mockery. Daniel's cologne lingers in our closet as I mechanically pack his tailored suits into cardboard boxes. The Armani he wore to our rehearsal dinner. The Brooks brothers from my father's retirement party. A tie Madeline gave him last Christmas, coral pink silk that matches her favorite lipstick. My phone buzzes again. Mom's number flashes on the screen for the 13th time today. Behind her calls. 3 from Dad, 7 from Daniel. Each vibration drives another splinter under my skin. The last garment bag holds my wedding dress. White satin and lace, preserved like a precious memory. My fingers brush the delicate beadwork, and suddenly my legs give out. The hardwood floor rushes up to meet me. Our wedding album lies open beside me, heavy as a tombstone. The calligraphy of our vows mocks me in elegant script, to love and cherish, in sickness and in health, until death do us part. You forgot the fine print, I whispered at Daniel's smiling face. Valid only if I can give you children. A sob builds in my chest, but I swallow it back. Instead, I push myself up and walk to his home office. The leather chair still holds the impression of his body. His laptop sits closed on the mahogany desk, the one my father helped him choose. The desk drawer slides open smoothly. Inside, folders arranged with military precision, tax returns, investment statements, property deeds. And there, behind the ordered files, a manila envelope labeled Future Plans. My hands shake as I pull out freshly printed house listings, all within walking distance of my parents' neighborhood. Email chains between Daniel and my father stretch back months. James, I've looked into the arrangements we discussed. Once things are settled with Laura, the transfer should be simple. Daniel, son, I've always considered you family. We'll make sure everything goes smoothly. Bank statements reveal systematic transfers to an account I've never seen. Investment portfolios I helped build show my name mysteriously removed. A draft prenuptial agreement dated 3 months ago bears my sister's name in the margins. The floor seems to tilt beneath my feet. Yet my photographer's eye catalogs every detail with cruel precision. My father's distinctive handwriting on notes about protecting family assets, Madeline's text messages to Daniel spanning 8 months, my mother's social calendar marking family dinners on nights I worked late. The doorbell rings. My hand instinctively reaches for the letter open-era silver antique from my grandmother. But through the peephole, I see Rachel's familiar face, my college roommate. Now a divorce attorney. I saw Daniel with your sister last month, she says when I open the door. I've been worried about you. The hug she gives me is the first genuine human contact I've had in days. Her perfume smells nothing like my mother's Chanel number 5 or Madeline's signature Joe Malone. The difference makes my eyes sting. Stay with me while you figure things out, she offers. Then, steel entering her voice, document everything. Trust no one with your family name. Over the next hours, I photograph every paper, create digital backups, meet with a financial advisor who has no connection to my father's firm. My boss listens with grave concern when I explain the situation, offering flexibility for the inevitable legal proceedings ahead. Rachel's sister Kate, a therapist, agrees to see me tomorrow. The first session's on me, she insists. You need someone objective to help you process this. When Daniel's car pulls into the driveway that evening, the new locks have already been installed. I watch through the security camera as he tries his key, then another. Laura! His fist pounds the door. Let me in. This is ridiculous. My voice emerges steady through the intercom. Any communication needs to go through my attorney, Rachel Thompson. I'm sure you remember her from our wedding. You can't do this. Your family will never forgive you for this embarrassment. A laugh bubbles up, bitter as medicine. They stopped being my family the moment they chose you over me. His threats echo off the brick facade. Legal action, financial ruin, social ostracism, but the next morning brings evidence of their own fears. A notice from Daniel's lawyer, attempting to contest any divorce filing. Madeline's syrupy Facebook post about her unexpected new blessing. My mother's voicemail about family reputation and making scenes. The family lawyer's letter arrives by certified mail, hinting at my inheritance being reconsidered. Posts appear in local Facebook groups about my concerning behavior and mental health struggles. But their biggest mistake sits in my hand. An old USB drive I found in the back of Daniel's desk. Family videos spanning decades. My father telling teenage me that Madeline has the natural charm you lack. Daniel laughing at their jokes about my intensity at our engagement party. And finally, my mother's voice, soft and venomous. You always were my real daughter, Madeline. In my stripped bare bedroom, I hold my childhood diary. The pages chronicle years of being the family ghost. The last entry before college reads, "Someday I'll find people who actually see me." I trace those hopeful words, written in purple ink by a girl who still believed in family. The diary falls open to a pressed flower lilac my grandmother gave me the day before she died. You were right, Grandma, I whisper to the dried petals. Some gardens are poisoned at the root. 2 days later, the whispers follow me down the marble hallway of Preston Financial. My heels click against the floor as coworkers' conversations die mid-sentence. Susan from accounting clutches her coffee mug closer, avoiding eye contact. The conference room door closes as I pass a meeting I should have been invited to. My computer screen glows with an email from HR. Regarding your personal situation. The cursor blinks while I read Madeline's latest Facebook post. Supporting my dear brother-in-law through this difficult time. Family stands together. 300 sympathetic comments bloom beneath her words like poisonous flowers. The church pastor appears at my desk without warning, his Bible clutched to his chest. Laura, we're all quite concerned. I have a meeting. The lie tastes clean on my tongue as I gather my files and stride past him. My phone buzzes. Another voicemail from Mom's Bridge Club friends expressing their worries about my mental state. I delete it without listening. The whispers crescendo the next morning when my parents sweep through the office lobby, Mom's pearls gleaming, Dad's voice carrying. We're here to help our troubled daughter. Security escorts them out while I sit frozen at my desk, spreadsheets blurring before my eyes. But my boss Sarah appears in my doorway, steel in her spine. Those people have no right to disrupt this office. She drops a stack of performance reviews on my desk call exemplary. HR has everything they need to protect you here. Jennifer from the tax department brings coffee after my parents leave. My sister did the same thing, tried to steal my husband while I was recovering from surgery. Her words unlock something in my chest. Let me give you my therapist's number. That evening, Mrs. Winters from next door appears with a casserole and quiet companionship. Rachel's brother Tom, an attorney, reviews my case pro bono. An online support group connects me with women who understand financial abuse during divorce. My first therapy session the next day cracks me open. Dr. Matthews listens to my childhood stories, her face growing grave. This isn't in your head, Laura. This is textbook gaslighting, a lifetime of it. The next time Mom calls, my finger hovers over accept. Then I press decline, and the knot in my stomach unravels for the first time in weeks. That night, at dinner with my new friends, Jennifer tells a story about her ex-husband's girlfriend getting poison ivy in an unfortunate place. Laughter bubbles up from somewhere deep inside me, unfamiliar but cleansing. Back home, I open my journal and write, I don't need to earn their love anymore. Days later, work becomes my sanctuary. I throw myself into analyzing investment portfolios, finding patterns others miss. Sarah notices. You're focused lately, it's impressive. Would you present your findings at the regional conference? A female executive takes me under her wing. You have instincts for this business that can't be taught. When the competing firm makes their offer, the salary makes my hands shake. The forensic accountant I hire traces the missing funds like gleaming breadcrumbs through our joint accounts. Evidence mounts in neat columns, dates, amounts, transfers. Daniel's signature on documents he thought I'd never see. My attorney files for an emergency financial injunction on a Tuesday. By Wednesday morning, Daniel's number flashes on my phone. I let it ring. He sends a message wanting to meet the next day. The following day, the neutral coffee shop feels too bright, too public for this conversation. Daniel slides into the seat across from me, his wedding ring missing. Your family is worried sick about you. His voice holds the same gentle condescension he used when explaining why I couldn't handle our investments alone. I place a folder between us. The account in the Caymans. When did you open it? You're being paranoid. This is exactly what everyone's concerned about. The transfer dates align perfectly with your weekend business trips last fall. His mask slips. No one will believe you over all of us. I don't need anyone to believe me. I open the folder. I have proof. A week later, temporary orders hearing lasts exactly 23 minutes. Daniel's attorney shuffles papers, unprepared for my documentation. The judge peers over his glasses. This apparent attempt to hide marital assets is deeply troubling. I walk out of the courtroom, spine straight. Through the heavy doors, I hear Daniel and my father's angry whispers fade behind me. My wedding dress finds a new home at the women's shelter thrift store. The bedroom walls transform from Daniel's preferred beige to sea glass blue. The divorce settlement clears on a Thursday. On Friday, Michael from 4B knocks on my door. I'm making too much pasta for one person, he says, smile reaching his eyes. Want to help me eat it? Over dinner, he listens when I speak. Asks questions because he wants to know the answers, not to find weaknesses. My wine glass stays full, my shoulders relax, my laughter comes easily. This is how normal people treat each other, I realize watching him tell a story about his architectural firm's latest project. No hidden barbs, no keeping score. The new job offer arrives by courier a week later. The apartment across town, found through Rachel's realtor friend, allows no subletting. My financial advisor helps me build a savings strategy that depends on no one else. In therapy, I can say their names without my throat closing. Daniel, Madeline, Mom, Dad. The envelope appears under my door on a Sunday morning. Inside, glossy photos spill across my coffee table. Madeline wrapped around a man who isn't Daniel. Her lipstick marks his neck. The light catches her wedding ring. My hands should shake as I recognize him, Jack, her high school boyfriend. Emma's real father. The note reads, "Thought you should know she's playing both sides." I gather the photos, studying my sister's face in each one. The power to destroy her lies in my hands just like she destroyed me. But as I reach for my phone, a different truth settles over me. The best revenge isn't what they fear most. It's becoming someone they can never touch again. On the following Wednesday, the spring sunshine streaming through my office window feels like a spotlight, illuminating the timeline I've constructed across my whiteboard. Red marker traces the path of betrayal, Daniel's first lunch with Madeline, my parents' secret meetings, the gradual draining of our accounts. My support circle sits in silence, letting me process the scope of what we've uncovered. Rachel taps her legal pad with her pen. The financial evidence is damning, Laura. We can crush them in court. My finger traces the latest entry, Daniel's tearful voicemail from last night. I made a mistake. We can still fix this. The words ring hollow like everything else he ever promised. I don't want revenge. The words surprise me as they leave my mouth. I want freedom and justice. The text arrives while we're reviewing strategy. Sorry to inform you, but Mr. Winters has been terminated, effective immediately. My soon-to-be ex-husband used company resources to wage his divorce battle. His desperation would be almost comical if it weren't so sad. A knock at my office door makes me flinch. Through the glass, I spot Daniel clutching a bouquet of Rose's least favorite flower, though he never bothered to learn that. Security escorts him out while my colleagues pretend not to watch. Their pitying glances burn worse than any humiliation he intended. The attacks keep coming in the days to come. Mother's Facebook post appears in my feed. Praying for our beloved daughter during this difficult time. Mental health struggles touch every family. My father's concerns reach my new employer before I can finish my first week. The managing partner calls me into his office, but my documented performance history speaks louder than vague allegations. Interesting timing, he says, sliding a partnership offer across his desk. We value employees who maintain grace under pressure. Madeline's pregnancy announcement hits social media that evening. The photos show her wrapped in Daniel's arms, both beaming at the camera. Their coordinated outfits and practice poses can't hide the strain around their eyes. 8 weeks ago, they were planning their betrayal in secret. Now they're planning a nursery. The next Tuesday, my attorney's eyes gleam as she files our counter-response. Decades of financial records paint a clear picture of systematic manipulation. Daniel's attempts to hide assets read like an amateur's guide to fraud. The judge's preliminary comments suggest he's seen this pattern before and has little patience for it. The whispers start at my mother's church group first. Days later, someone saw the financial records. Someone else remembered Daniel's behavior with his college girlfriend. The perfect family facade begins to crack. A former classmate stops me in the grocery store, between the produce and dairy sections. "I always knew they treated you terribly," she whispers. "Everyone did. We just didn't know what to say." The card arrives in my mailbox unsigned on Wednesday, but I recognize my grandmother's best friend's shaky handwriting. "Martha would be so proud of you, dear. She always said you were the strong one." Daniel's sister Julie calls late one evening. "He did the same thing to his college girlfriend," she says without preamble. "I should have warned you, I'm so sorry." I watch my family's carefully curated social media presence crumble. Madeline's dramatic posts about family loyalty garner fewer likes each time. Our mother's claims about my mental state face increasing skepticism. The country club set may love gossip, but they hate being played for fools. The real estate agent hands me the keys to my new home with a knowing smile. "The garden is perfect for entertaining," she says, "and the security system was just upgraded." My housewarming party fills every room with genuine laughter a week later. These people choose to be here, choose to support me. No genetic obligation, no social pressure, just authentic connection. The final divorce terms land like a thunderclap in the family's perfect world. Daniel's financial misconduct leaves him with little leverage. He takes his box of belongings to a small apartment across town, while I donate his designer suits to the men's shelter. Michael helps me arrange my new living room, his architect's eye finding the perfect spot for each piece. When he kisses me, there's no agenda, no calculation, just warmth and possibility. My mother calls 6 times before I answer. "The country club board." She starts, then stops. "Your father had to step down." "That must be difficult for you," I say, my voice steady. The words hold no satisfaction, no triumph, just truth. 2 months later, the medical center's number flashing on my phone screen seems ordinary enough. The nurse's voice carries the kind of forced casualness that makes my stomach clench. "Could you come in to review your test results in person?" Michael insists on driving me to the appointment. His hand finds mine as the doctor enters with my file, and doesn't let go as her words rewrite everything I thought I knew about my body's limitations. That evening, I sit in my garden watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of possibility. My hand rests on my stomach, protecting the secret growing beneath my heart. Michael brings me chamomile tea, pressing a gentle kiss to my forehead. The blank page before me awaits my decision. After careful consideration, I begin to write, the words flowing easily now. My family once wielded truth like a weapon. Perhaps it's time they learned how that feels. 3 months later, the spring sunlight streams through the nursery window, casting patterns across the pale green walls. My fingers trace the edge of the white crib Michael assembled last weekend, lingering on the delicate mobile of silver stars dancing overhead. A stuffed giraffe peers down from a shelf, lined with classic children's books gifts from the baby shower my true friends threw last month. The doorbell chimes, followed by urgent knocking. Michael's footsteps cross the living room below. His voice, usually warm, carries a protective edge. "I'm not sure this is a good time." "We're her parents." My father's commanding tone hasn't changed. "We have rights." I press my palm against my rounded belly, feeling our son's reassuring kick. 5 months of pure joy, untainted by their manipulation. Part of me wants to let Michael send them away. But I've waited for this moment. "Let them in," I call down the stairs. "I'll be right there." The mirror in the hallway reflects a woman I barely recognize from that Sunday morning at their house. My blonde hair falls in soft waves past my shoulders. A flowing dress in robin's egg blue drapes over my prominent bump. The pearls at my throat aren't my mother's hand-me-downs, but a wedding gift from Michael. Their shocked silence as I enter the living room almost makes me laugh. Mother's hand flies to her throat, pearls clicking against her wedding ring. Father's face drains of color. Madeline, perched on the edge of the sofa, stares at my belly like she's seen a ghost. "But the doctor said you couldn't." Mother's voice trails off. "Whose baby is it?" Father demands. "Did you use a donor?" I sink into the armchair, Michael's solid presence behind me. The baby is mine, and my husband's. You're doing this for attention. Madeline's voice cracks. It's not possible. Actually, it is. I retrieved the folder from the side table, sliding out my medical records. Dr. Harrison can explain the specifics, but sometimes these diagnoses aren't absolute. Especially when the original doctor had incomplete information. Michael steps forward. I'm Michael Winters, Laura's husband, and yes, this is our child. This is ridiculous. Father's face reddens. Daniel told us. Daniel told you what he wanted to believe. I withdraw another set of papers. But he never had his own fertility tested, did he? He was too proud. Too certain the problem must be mine. The DNA results land on the coffee table with a soft thud. Daniel's name stares up at them in stark black letters. Complete azoospermia, I read quietly. No viable sperm production. Which means, Madeline, that your daughter Emma can't possibly be his. Madeline's face crumples. You don't know anything about... I know about the weekends you spent with Thomas while Daniel worked late. Your ex-boyfriend? Emma's real father? I slide the photographs across the table. He sent these himself. Apparently, he's tired of pretending he's not her father. Is this true? Daniel's voice cuts through the silence. He stands in the doorway, clutching a handful of papers. Probably another attempt at manipulating the divorce settlement. Madeline? My sister bursts into tears. I didn't think. You never had yourself tested, so I thought. You knew. Daniel's voice breaks. You knew she wasn't mine. Mother collapses onto the sofa, designer purse sliding to the floor. Father stares at Madeline like he's never seen her before. You lied to all of us? His voice rises. Do you know what this will do to our reputation, to the family name? I stand, one hand cradling my belly. I do not want revenge. Life has already given me everything you tried to take from me. But if you want to be part of this child's life, there are conditions. Conditions, Mother whispers. Individual therapy. Public acknowledgement of how you treated me. Genuine apologies, not just words, but changed behavior. I meet each of their eyes. This child will never wonder if he's loved. He will never be compared to his cousins or measured against your expectations. He will know his worth doesn't depend on your approval. Daniel stumbles toward the door. Madeline reaches for him, mascara streaking her cheeks. Daniel, please. The front door slams behind him. Through the window, I watch him fumble with his car keys, nearly dropping them before speeding away. I think it's time for everyone to leave. Michael's voice brooks no argument. They file out like mourners leaving a funeral. Perhaps they are in a way. The death of their perfect facade. Mother pauses at the door, her hand trembling as she reaches for my arm. I'm sorry, she whispers. I don't pull away, but I don't embrace her either. You have my number. When you're ready to try again the right way, call me. The door closes with a soft click. Michael and I settle onto the porch swing, his arm around my shoulders. The evening air carries the scent of blooming jasmine from our garden. Are you really willing to let them back in? He asks softly. I watch the sunset paint the sky in shades of possibility. Not as they were. My hand rests on our growing sun, only as they might become. At the present, 3 years later, spring breeze carries the scent of lilacs through my garden, a different variety than the ones that grew at my parents' house. These bloom later, their purple petals unfurling at their own pace. Benjamin squeals from his blanket on the grass, reaching for a yellow butterfly that dances just beyond his fingertips. Look what I found, buddy! Michael's voice drifts from behind the climbing roses where he's building our son's playhouse. He emerges with a trowel caked in dirt, holding something in his palm. Benjamin toddles over, his blue overalls grass-stained at the knees. A roly-poly, Michael explains, letting our son examine the tiny creature. I adjust my sun hat and turn back to the tomato plants. 3 years ago, I wouldn't have believed this piece existed. The woman who fled her family's sunroom that day feels like a stranger, now someone I want to hug and tell, just wait, life has better plans. My phone buzzes. A text from Rachel about next week's support group meeting. The circle of women who helped rebuild me has grown into something bigger than our shared wounds. Last month, one of them brought her mother the first session where we discussed healing from both sides of family fractures. The Financial Advisor of the Year plaque arrived yesterday. It sits on my desk beside Benjamin's first finger painting and the photo from our courthouse wedding. No staged perfection, just real joy caught in morning light. Mama, Benjamin's voice pulls me back. He's discovered the strawberry patch, his fingers and chin already stained red. Michael scoops him up, both of them laughing. The doorbell chimes. My mother stands on the porch, holding a wrapped package. Her hair has more silver now, her posture less rigid. The therapy has changed her, or maybe it's changed how I see her. I found this while cleaning out the attic, she says, offering the gift. The hug we share feels different from the stiff embraces of my childhood. No obligation, no hidden expectations, just two women who've learned to meet each other where they are. Inside, my friends mill around the kitchen, setting up for Benjamin's third birthday party. None of them tense when my mother enters. She's earned her place here, one honest conversation at a time. The cupcakes need arranging, Sarah calls out. Any volunteers? My mother steps forward. I'd love to help if that's all right. I watch her follow Sarah's instructions about the rainbow pattern we chose. No suggestions about proper color schemes or comments about excessive sprinkles. She's learning to be a guest in my life instead of trying to direct it. The gift she brought is a photo album I'd never seen. Inside, pictures of me as a baby that I thought were lost. Your grandmother took these, she explains softly. She always saw something special in you, even when I was too blind to look. Benjamin races through the kitchen, Michael in pursuit with a toy airplane. My mother's eyes light up watching them, but she stays in her chair until I nod. Only then does she open her arms to her grandson. The party flows with the natural chaos of toddlers and cake. My mother mingles with my chosen family, learning their names, listening to their stories. When Emma talks about her divorce, I see genuine empathy in my mother's face. Later, after the guests leave, we sit in the kitchen. The sunset paints the walls the same coral pink as my garden roses. My mother helps load the dishwasher, following my system without trying to reorganize it. Your father asks about you, she says, but without the guilt-laden tone of past conversations. He knows my conditions. My voice stays gentle but firm. She nods, accepting the boundary. Through the window, we watch Michael pushing Benjamin on his new swing set. You've built something beautiful here, Laura. Sometimes beautiful things grow from broken ground. The wisdom in her eyes tells me she finally understands. She gathers her purse, pausing at the door. Next week's lunch? Same time, I confirm. And Mom, thank you for coming today. After she drives away, I join Michael and Benjamin on the porch swing. The evening air carries the scent of my grandmother's lilacs. My son snuggles against me, sticky with cake and contentment. Good day? Michael asks, passing me a cup of chamomile tea. Through the twilight, I can just make out my parents' house on the hill across town. A single light burns in the upstairs window. Better than good, I answer, drawing Benjamin closer. We're exactly where we're meant to be. My garden stretches before us, flowers blooming in their own time, stronger for the careful tending. Like healing, like love, like second chances that arrive when you've stopped watching for them. They thought taking everything would destroy me. Instead, it cleared the ground for something real to grow.